They banned me from the family reunion, just because I couldn't afford a $200 dress code. What they didn't know was I had already bought the entire hotel they were hosting it in. If this just shocked you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs a dose of revenge done right. You won't believe what happens next. I still remember that voice note from my cousin. She laughed while saying, "Babe, I mean, it's a formal reunion. You wouldn't fit in." Then she added, "No offense." No offense? They were embarrassed of me, the one who once gave up everything to help them when they were broke. For years I played the fool, the poor cousin, the charity case. Every gathering they'd whisper behind my back, mocking my clothes, my used car, my small apartment. Even my aunt once asked if I needed help paying for dinner, loud enough that the entire table went quiet. What they didn't know was that I wasn't just sitting around crying. I had been working silently, building a tech platform on nights and weekends. I stayed low, stayed quiet, and let them believe I was struggling. Because I knew the day would come, and that day was this reunion. They booked a luxury hotel ballroom downtown, same place where the valet once refused to park my car because he assumed I was a delivery guy. That burned. But instead of fighting it, I smiled. I was already negotiating a silent acquisition of the hotel chain from overseas investors. They just didn't know. But things took an even sharper turn, one no one expected, not even me. Because just 3 hours before the reunion started, I got a call from someone inside the ballroom, whispering words that would flip everything upside down. "It's your brother. He's giving a speech right now, and he just said you begged for money last year and got denied." Everyone laughed. I stood still, phone pressed to my ear, staring out from the penthouse suite, the same building they thought I couldn't enter. My hands tightened, not from anger, from the quiet satisfaction of knowing what was about to happen. They thought I'd be humiliated. They didn't know I owned the building now, quietly finalized just 2 days ago under my holding company's name. Not a soul had a clue. The same ballroom they were mocking me in, paid for by me. I sent a message to the event coordinator. Switch playlist. Start video in 2 minutes. Cut the mic after. No name, just instructions. She followed instantly. She had to. I was now her boss. Downstairs, my family was enjoying themselves, champagne flowing, laughter rising, until the speakers cut out mid-toast. The lights dimmed. Suddenly, a video started playing on the massive screen behind them. A black screen, then white letters appeared. "The one you banned is the reason you're here." Confusion. Whispers. My mother looked around. My brother froze. Then came the footage, clips of my journey. Me sleeping on the office floor, selling my last phone to buy cloud storage. Screenshots of my app's downloads crossing 1 million, then 10 million, then being acquired for 8 figures. They gasped. Faces turned pale. And then, their expressions changed. Shock to fear. Because the final slide read, "This building and your reunion are now owned by the one you shamed." I walked in, quiet, calm, wearing the same simple clothes they used to mock. No suit, no flash. Just the same version of me they laughed at, except now with power. But as I stood there, about to speak, something happened that changed the entire plan. My father stood up, smiling, and what he said made everything worse. He clapped slowly, that smug smile spread wide across his face. "I taught you well, son," he said loudly, turning to the rest of the family like he had something to be proud of. "See? I always knew he had it in him. I pushed him on purpose, to make him strong." The room laughed nervously, unsure if he was joking. My mother nodded along, clutching her wine glass like nothing had happened. My brother whispered something to his wife and grinned. That moment hit harder than all the insults before. They didn't feel ashamed. They didn't feel guilty. They were trying to claim credit for everything I'd built in silence. "I didn't do this because of you," I said, my voice calm but sharp. "I did it despite you." But the real twist was still loading. I pulled out a single envelope from my jacket pocket, simple, white, sealed. The room fell quiet. I wasn't just watching all these years, I was recording everything. Gasps. My cousin stood up. Wait, what? Every time I was humiliated, excluded, mocked, I kept receipts, audio, screenshots, texts, every cruel word, every fake smile. I tossed the envelope onto the table. Inside are legal documents. I didn't just buy this building. I bought out the family trust last month. Quietly, legally. You're all no longer beneficiaries. My aunt dropped her fork. My cousin's husband whispered, "That's not possible." My mother went pale. My brother grabbed the envelope, tore it open, scanned the pages, then looked up like he saw a ghost. "It's real," he muttered, but I wasn't done. "There's one more thing." Because the real bomb hadn't dropped yet. 3 of you in this room were secretly stealing from Grandpa's medical fund. Now that set the room on fire. Screams, denials. My uncle stood up shouting. Someone knocked over a chair. The entire family turned on each other, pointing fingers, yelling names. But I just stepped back and watched them destroy each other, and that's when someone unexpected entered the room, someone they all feared. The door swung open, and in walked Grandpa. Alive, standing, strong. Everyone froze. My aunt gasped, clutching her chest. My cousin nearly dropped her glass. "What? But you were in hospice." Grandpa looked around, eyes sharp. "That's what you told everyone," he said coldly. "That I was dying, that I was too weak to handle the truth." He turned toward me and smiled. But he knew. He visited every week. And he protected me, while my own children tried to bury me alive for my money. The room was dead silent now. My uncle looked like he'd seen a ghost. My father sat down, head in his hands. No one moved. Grandpa walked slowly toward the front. "I faked my condition because I had to, because the people closest to me were the ones trying to steal from me." Then he looked at me. "And that's why I handed everything to him. Not just the trust, not just the money, the entire estate, the land, the business shares, the legacy." A collective gasp filled the room. Someone whispered, "He owns everything." Grandpa nodded. "And I made sure none of you can challenge it. The lawyers are already filing the changes. As of this morning, he's the head of this family." Tears welled up in my mother's eyes. "But we're his blood too." "You were never his family," Grandpa said firmly. "You used him, laughed at him, abandoned him. And now you want to crawl back?" But I wasn't done. I looked around the room at the people who once made me feel less than nothing. "You didn't just lose the money," I said quietly. "You lost the right to call me family." And just as they began to realize what they'd done, my phone buzzed. It was a message from my assistant. "Phase 2 is complete. The press release just went live. They'll find out in 5 minutes." I put my phone away and smiled, because what they were about to discover next would destroy their reputations forever. 5 minutes later, phones started buzzing across the room. At first, confused glances, then gasps, then pure panic. Every major news outlet had just published the same headline: "Tech billionaire uncovers family's financial abuse and fraud, hands over evidence to authorities." There were screenshots, recordings, even bank transfers. Everything linked back to my uncle, my cousin, and my father. Years of embezzlement from Grandpa's healthcare fund, fake charities, money laundering, and worse. My uncle's face turned white. "You leaked this? You set us up?" I looked him dead in the eyes. You set yourselves up. I just let the world see it." Sirens wailed in the distance. Police were already on the way. My assistant had timed everything perfectly. The family who once mocked me for being too poor was about to be escorted out of a luxury hotel, owned by the man they disowned. Security stepped in. "We have orders," one said calmly. "These individuals are no longer welcome on the property." As they were led out, still screaming, still in shock, Grandpa walked over and put a hand on my shoulder. "You turned all that pain into power. I've never been prouder." I nodded slowly. "I didn't do it for revenge," I said. I did it for respect, and for every quiet kid out there, underestimated by their own family. The ballroom was silent now, except for one thing: the sound of my company's logo spinning on the big screen, behind the words, "Legacy isn't what you inherit. It's what you build when no one believes in you." And as the doors closed behind my so-called family, I realized something. They didn't just lose their money, they lost access to me. Forever. Want more powerful revenge stories like this? Like, share and subscribe? Because sometimes the underdog isn't just coming back. He's already in charge.